Welcome back to another video with your one and only literary Pharaoh. I know everyone is all immersed into this euphoric bombardment of this election ordeal. This election, which is part of a psychological operation that you guys are just too desensitized to see what it is, or see the intent of it, at least. I don't even know who won the election this morning. I'm sure once I get off the phone, once I get off this feed, I'm sure I'm going to get some type of notification or something's going to pop up on my smartphone. I'm going to see it on my computer when I get to work, or somebody at work is going to talk about it, about who won. That's how disconnected I am from all this stupid nonsense that so many of you guys are so sucked in, so sucked into it. You're so sucked into it because it sucks you in, and you have to be very careful, because if you turn on the television, that's all you see. Everywhere is talking about it. They put there's so much attention that's put towards it that if you're not a strong person who's grounded in your own perceptions and your own reality and grounded on your own foundation, then you're going to shift quickly because you have no foundation to cement any type of stance. If you have a foundation, you can actually stick to something, cement it and glue to that foundation. But if you don't have anything, then you're going to just quickly shift. You're going to find yourself consistently moving to and fro from any message that moves you emotionally. People today are affected. People today are impacted. People today, whether you were voting for Trump or voting for Kamala, people today are impacted. Their emotions are into it. If you were voting for Kamala and Trump won, you feel down today. If you were voting for Trump and Kamala won, then you're feeling down today. People really feel down. They really are affected by this. But if you disconnect, you don't give a damn who wins or loses, because you don't care in the first place. Because you understand in the first place that your vote never counted, that this electoral college bullshit that they use to kind of divvy up the votes and count it, it's manipulated. It's counterfeit. It's not even real. It's a circus show. My daughter the other day, I had to try to kind of explain to her. I guess she's at school and she came home. She was like, "Oh, Daddy, today's election day." I said, "Yeah." She said, "What does election day mean?" I said, "It doesn't mean anything. It's just a day that they make up to make people feel like they have a part to play in the election process." I said, "Babe," not babe. I call my wife babe. But I told my daughter, I said, "Hey, look, these presidents are selected. They're not elected. They want to make you believe that they're elected." And that's because once the American population can come to a firm understanding that the elections are rigged and the elections are not what you think it is, and then it unmasks the whole system for the treachery that it is. I already told you guys that we are in a treasonous government, that a treasonous government runs America. It's not run by who you think it's ran by. It's also a government that's not really for you. See, once you understand that your voice never mattered, then it just starts to uncover everything. That's the domino that falls to break down the whole house. The whole house of cards is completely debacle when you can come to the realization that the most important thing to know is that the so-called democratic process that you guys are so immersed in, and you guys put so much emphasis in it, and you guys think it's so much about people having choice and the people dictate. No, people don't have power. People don't have power. You guys, we all don't have power. We're limited. We're provided the little crumbs that they want to give us. We're all controlled. We're all economic slaves to the industrial system. Our votes never counted. Voting is not what you think it's for. When you register to vote, you're just getting data. You're collecting all sorts of analytics to help feed their consensus or feed their senses, whatever they take to know what kind of people are in certain areas. It helps them know the mind state of certain people, but your voting in itself, they don't count it. So for instance, let's say, let me break this down to the most simplest terms that I can break it down so you guys can understand clearly what I'm talking about. If a person was running for a particular role in a government, right? And let's say there were 200 people who were voting, and there were two candidates that were going against each other. Now, let's say one candidate got 50 votes, and the other candidate got 150 votes. Now, common sense would tell you that the candidate that got 150 votes should win because they got more votes. That's simple. That's simple mathematics. No. Number one, the candidates that are running are selected. They're actors. I'm talking about on the presidential level. Sometimes on the governor level as well, and the senator level. Not all politicians are equally configured. In other words, not all politicians are the same. Some are manufactured and created by the system as actors, and those are the ones that make it far. Obama was one of them. He came out of nowhere. No one even knew who he was. He just came out of nowhere and shot up. He was manufactured. He was processed by the system. He was a plant. Many presidents are plants. Actually, all presidents are plants. Most governors are plants. Most mayors are plants. Now, when you get down to like congressmen and senators, then you may get some that are genuine and they really believe in the democratic system, but they're just naive and jaded, and they think that the democratic process actually means something that can bode well for the human populace, but it actually doesn't. And then you can move over and shift your mind and start to think about if the candidate that got 150 votes, they should win because the other one got 50. 200 voters, 50 went to one candidate, 150 went to the other. But that's not the way it works. What they do, they take the information, because remember, it's a divide and conquer tactic. So what they've done, they know that there's certain issues that most Democrats hinge their voting, their voting subjects, or the things that they talk about, the things that they want to push, the agendas that they want to push. Democrats have a theme, right? And the Republicans also have a theme as well. Democrats are known for certain things, and Republicans are known for certain things. That's all that matters. They just need to make a demarcation in the line to clearly make a distinction between Republican and Democrat. Once that's completely done, with the 150 voters, let's say the 150 voters voted for a Democrat, then they take that data, the information, they know that these people in this area like these ideas, but they're not taking your vote to say that the Democrat's going to win the election. It's a game. It's a chess game. I keep saying this, but you guys don't understand what I'm saying. We're chess pieces on the chessboard. We're playing checkers. They're playing chess. Okay? They're playing high, sophisticated level of chess, and we're so out of the loop that we buy in and play into our own debauchery. So in other words, we playing the game of going out to vote and stressing ourselves out feeds their agenda. Whatever propaganda that they have already pre-packaged and pre-planned, it's only made to come to fruition based upon our involvement. So our engagement gives them the power that they are desperately trying to wield over us. So the information is what they want. It's not about the number of votes. If they know that a lot of people are thinking a certain way, then they can throw a monkey wrench. They can throw some type of spoiler or something to kind of thwart the whole system, to go against the status quo, to cause chaos. Like, for instance, if you have a particular group of people in a particular area that are pro-abortion, then they may do something that sparks, dissension and push for narratives and push for legislature that allows, abortion to be banned, to be illegal. And then now you have infighting. So the mechanism here is a divide and conquer. The goal is to cause conflict, to cause divide. And once you cause divide and you put people in a state of emotional unrest, then the extraterrestrials that eat our energy can feed, they can feast. See, once we take ourselves out of equilibrium and balance and neutrality and stoicism, once we take ourselves out of the radical ebbs and flows of the emotional highs and emotional lows. See, once you stay even, you're not tasteful for these aliens. They don't want to eat that. Your emotional state isn't good enough. It needs to either be extremely high or extremely low. They prefer for it to be extremely low. The lower your vibration is, the lower your emotional state is, that's what they eat off. They eat off of low energy, because low vibrational states are caused by low emotion. So if you're sad and you're depressed or you're angry, you tend to have a negative disposition, which is put forth by your behavior, and it shows on your countenance and your nonverbal cues. Because we all know that communication is 80% nonverbal. You can say certain things with your mouth, but your body says it all. The body speaks the truth, and words are often used to manipulate. So it's that your vote doesn't count. Your vote counts towards something else, but it doesn't count towards the candidate. I need you guys to understand that. Voting is never counted. Even from the beginning, when they were telling people, oh, your ancestors fought, a lot of people sacrificed for your right to vote. I'm like, you idiots. They didn't sacrifice for that. They were being manipulated. There's just so much to uncover, and it's so hard to unveil truth, but then at the same time try to explain to people how history has been totally rewritten, to fit the agenda of those who won. Because whoever wins is who can write their own history. You can use the pen to forge a narrative that puts you in a state of an advantage over the people that you're trying to oppress. So people are riding around today either extremely angry or extremely happy, and I think that's very sad that the election process has drawn people in to a point where their emotional states are altered. But it's pretty sad and pathetic, because it just shows you that that's how much people are invested in this nonsense. Morning workout talk brought to you by your one and only Literary Pharaoh. Had a great workout today, as I always do. Me and my wife were finishing up our workout, doing our abs, and some guy walked by. He kind of gave us kudos. He was like, man, I see you guys always grinding, man. I love it. See, that's when you know you're doing something right. When you're in the gym, you're going so hard that other people who are going hard are motivated by how hard you're going. We're all in the gym. So it's not like you have a section of people not doing it. Everyone's working out. But for a guy who actually is consistently there, comes to me, kind of walking by, him and a couple of guys were doing some lunges. They were doing lunges walking by, and he looked at me. He was like, man, I like what y'all do, man. Keep it up, man. It felt good. That's what I mean by living like a god. How do you affect people? How do you impact people? That's a telltale sign of who you are. How you impact people, how you make people feel. Are you a motivator? All right? Do you exude inspiration from your everyday actions and from your behavior? From your behaviors and the things that you say? Whether it's one person you impact or two, or 2,000 or one, it doesn't matter the number. What matters is that you impact people. And even before you think about impacting people, you have to make sure that you impact yourself. Because without impacting yourself, you're no good to anybody. You're no good to anyone. Yeah, so guys, disconnect from the matrix, disconnect from the system. Only focus on your health, focus on your mental state, focus on your self-care, focus on the things that you can control. I promise you, if you master the things that you can control, then the external things won't even matter. Who wins the presidential elections won't bother you. Who's going to war tomorrow won't bother you. The ebb and flows of the stock market won't bother you. The fluctuation of events around the world that are being told to you as a means of fear mongering to make you feel that the world is 2 seconds from imploding won't bother you. It's people who lack control of the things that they can't control. Those are the ones that are easily swayed, and they move by the wind of mainstream media. In other words, whatever is touted out there, whatever is spoken of the most, is prepackaged, because all these networks are all the same. They're ran by a handful of execs. So don't think that the news is some sort of objective format, or put into an objective format. It's not such. It's not as such. It's everything's prepackaged and planned. The narratives are already forged. Everything is already created, predetermined. That's why all the mainstream media stations are saying the same thing. Everyone is talking about the same thing. That's the way you make up minds and mold minds. But if you disconnect from the system and you don't listen to mainstream media, and you're only focused on the things that you can't control in your life, then you become a master of your own life. You can't allow people who give you information to be the ones to control your psyche, because once you've done that, then you've allowed the false engine, which is a false prophet, which was created by the CIA, influenced by extraterrestrials that are highly intellectually more advanced than us, because we don't see it. That's why they're more advanced than us. It's hard to see it. Even me talking about it now, it's hard to explain it, because you guys are listening like, but what is this guy talking about? I thought the news just gives us information. I thought media is supposed to inform. That's what we're told. See, whenever you've given your right to something else or somebody else or another entity or another enterprise to be the sole breadwinner of information that's put forth in your brain, then you've also told them to think for you. But if you think for yourself and you don't worry about what they tell you, and you only operate off of what your reality is in its current state, then that in itself gives you peace. Not only does it give you peace, it gives you a peace of mind. You get a peace of mind. Peace is the ultimate goal of existence, because there's so much around us there's so much things going on around us that are the antithesis of peace. They're antithetical to peace. So if you can find inner peace, which manifests itself on the outside to outer peace, then you've accomplished a lot. But you're not going to find peace immersed in the rat race and engaging yourself completely wholesale to the information that's provided by mainstream media. You'll just crash out. It's made to stress people out. It's made to make people put masks on their face. It's made to make people walk around in fear like a virus is going to kill you. It's made to make you feel like if the candidate that you were voting for the presidential election doesn't win, that your life is over. It's made for you to panic. It's made for you to be angry. It's made for you to take your frustrations to work and lash out. It's made to cause divide. It's made to cause racial tension. It's made to indoctrinate rather than educate. It's made to brainwash. All right? That's what it's made to do. It's for our own collective and personal destructions. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys for listening to another edition of your morning workout talk, brought to you by your one and only literary pharaoh. And before I leave, you always remember that your health is your wealth. Peace. Till next time. Bye.